They do. So, no. Bring that screen back the fuck up. Bring it up, Kenny.
I don't know
Bring
what you're talking about.
Bring it up, because if it was the other side, if the shoe's on the other foot, it'd be you getting these jokes off.
I had to recalibrate my camera. That's why I did that.
Recalibrate my ass. So
I did. It was laggy.
You was just so goddamn sure y'all were gonna beat the shit out of Brooklyn. Oh, how sure you were, like a Philly fan that you are.
Well, first of all, before you go further, I never said we were going to beat Brooklyn like that. I said we were good, and I'm hopeful that we beat them, and I don't like Ben Simmons. I was ready to boo Ben Simmons. That's what I said. And that was accomplished, but at what cost is the question.
Ass was by like 20 points. That was the cost. So I hope you learn your goddamn lesson. He didn't even play. So y'all could have just shut the fuck up. This wouldn't have been as funny. But no, you Philly fans, y'all hate everything so goddamn hard.
I mean, well, we have every right to hate him. Nothing you say is going to make me not boo him whenever he steps in the Wells Fargo Center.
Y'all hate that motherfucker because y'all took a chance on him and it failed. All right? It is what it is. It be what it be. So y'all got rid of him.
No, he failed.
Of that. No, it's never the end of that, because Philly fans are nothing but a bunch of scorned exes.
Really? Not a scorned ex. It's still
absolutely, absolutely, because y'all hate whoever comes back to y'all town to face y'all.
No, not true. We loved Brian Dawkins. We loved Allen Iverson.
Allen Iverson didn't go anywhere. Well, yeah, he did, but
Brian Dawkins went to Denver.
Damn, he did, didn't he?
Yeah, we love Nick Foles. We love people who embrace this.
You're a fucking liar.
We do love Nick Foles.
I do not love Nick Foles.
Yes, we do. We don't love Carson Wentz.
You're the only fan that loves Nick Foles.
We don't love Carson Wentz. If I'm the only Eagles fan that love Nick Foles, y'all crazy. He got us our only Super Bowl.
Excuse me. Y'all hated on Nick Foles until he won y'all Super Bowl. I'm sorry. My bad.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Because he had that one big game and y'all were hyping him over that.
And we liked him. No. What happened?
You were like hating on his ass, but then he came back to win y'all Super Bowl.
No.
I remember that shit.
No. What happened was we liked Nick Foles when he had that year when he took over for Vic when he was hurt. Chip came, traded him, made him a backup, came back. I said he's not a franchise quarterback, but he can get the job done. I didn't want to make him the franchise quarterback. I never hated Nick Foles. I said he can't win. I said he can't be a franchise QB, which he can't. Because every time he leave here, he becomes trash somewhere else. And it's still being proven to this day. Do you know where he is now? No. But you will know when he goes back to Philly, if he ever comes back, because he'll be good again. He's good here, trash elsewhere, meaning he's not a franchise quarterback. That's what I said. Never hated on him. Said he can't be the franchise QB. And I'm still right about that, because he can't.
So you just going to twist your words all episode long? Or
no, that's what I said. I never said I hated him. I said I appreciate him. Glad for what he did. I love him for that. Thank you. But you cannot be the franchise QB. He just can't. He can't be a franchise QB. I don't see what's wrong with me saying that.
Ask me, but
you said what?
I said that's still a form of hating if you ask me. But hey, if you want to move the goalpost,
no, it's the truth.
Hey,
that's like if who did y'all have at QB? Well, when you were a Falcons fan, who did you have at QB that year? Y'all went to Super Bowl. Chris Chandler.
Oh, the first time, yeah, Chris Chandler.
If he would have won that Super Bowl, would you have considered him a franchise QB?
Well, that wasn't going to happen because we got there.
No. Answer the question. Would
What?
you have considered him a franchise QB? Yes or no?
Me considering Chris Chandler to be a franchise quarterback is like considering Ravens fans to consider Trent Dilfer as a franchise quarterback. No.
Exactly. And what makes Chris Chandler different from Nick Foles?
I don't know, because
other than winning one.
I don't know, because Chris Chandler absolutely sucked. Again, we got there on the back of Jamal Anderson.
And we got there on the backs of LeGarrette Blount and Jay Ajayi in the second half of the season.
That's cap.
Who?
Carson Wentz carried y'all motherfuckers there and got hurt.
Yeah, I'm talking about after that. I'm talking about when Foles came in. I'm not talking about Carson Wentz.
And then when Nick Foles came in,
we'll get to Carson in a bit, by the way.
Huh?
I say we'll get to Carson in a bit, by the way.
When Nick Foles got back, he wasn't doing that bad either. Listen, y'all don't have a running back in core. I don't care what you say.
In 2017, we did.
But did you though?
Yeah, it was one of the best rushing attacks in the league.
Was it really?
Yes. Did you not see? LeGarrette Blount was winning games for us. He was. They'd get that man the ball in the fourth, and he would close games for us. Jay Ajayi came in one game and had like a 86-yard run and got like 7 TDs, bro. We were running the ball. Alshon Jeffrey was just there, you know what I'm saying, catching the passes where they got there, and Torrey Smith was the deep threat.
I feel compelled to call Joe and ask for his take on this because I can't help but feel like this is cap.
Bro, we were running the ball that year, bro. Yeah, Carson had 33 touchdowns, 7 picks. We were a balanced offense, but we based it off running. We would get those throws because we would be running down people's throats first. Anyway, that's not why we're here.
The reason why we're here is so I can rip on you motherfuckers. Because y'all shouldn't have been talking shit. Bottom line, bar none. Because that's all y'all love to do. Y'all love to talk shit because y'all hate motherfuckers that don't do well for y'all, but ends up doing well for other places.
No, I'm going to move closer to the mic so everyone can hear me absolutely clearly. We don't like people who act like they're entitled in the city of Philadelphia, and they think that the world should be given to them on a silver spoon. And they don't want to work, and they don't want to take their job seriously. We get upset. That's all Philadelphia fans want. Just take what you do serious. If you take what you do serious, whether you trash or not, okay, we'll just call you trash. Thank you for your services. You just can't play you. Ben Simmons, not only
I want to figure out
his job seriously. What?
I said, y'all have hated motherfuckers that aren't Ben Simmons and weren't like that, and I'm trying to figure out why. You know what I'm saying?
Who? You can't name them.
Apparently, there's a criteria.
You can't name them.
Y'all hate motherfuckers. Y'all hate motherfuckers profusely.
You can't name somebody that didn't work hard that we hated, other than them being trash. You can't name them. You can't. Why? Because it don't exist.
No, because it's too large of a fucking group. That's why. I don't.
No.
All right, Kenny.
The people that we hated were trash.
I will hold you to that. I'm going to hold you to that.
They were trash. Other than McNabb.
The fucking moment Joel Embiid leaves Philadelphia, and you say one bad thing about Joel Embiid, I'm just gonna stare at you. Like,
first of all, Embiid's not gonna leave. Second of all, why would I say anything bad about Embiid? Embiid is teetering Iverson territory. I had never said anything bad to Iverson ever. I rooted for him in Denver. Exactly.
You legitimately can't say anything bad about AI.
Do you know why I can't say anything bad about AI? He never won a title. He never won a title for us. But why can't I say anything bad about AI?
Cold.
Huh?
He was undisputedly cold.
Correct.
Like, you can't. You have no choice but to not say anything about AI.
Correct. Not only that, but he worked his butt off.
I bet you got some words for Dikembe Mutombo, though. That's for true.
Dikembe Mutombo was just old. He shouldn't have been there in the first place, but he did what he's supposed to do. That's different. Now we're going into basketball analysis. That's not even fair. So if I can't effectively
crazy thing about this thing called life, it's not fair.
If I can't effectively analyze, no, because you can analyze whatever you so please, and it's no problem. If I can't effectively analyze a player, then what are we doing here?
Analyze this.
That is why the Hawks are last. Right there.
Yeah, I'm over it. Like, just over. Atlanta doesn't want to be great. Atlanta's cursed.
Except for the Braves.
I think the Braves winning the World Series is the pinnacle of it all. If we're being honest,
the Braves winning the World Series is the equivalent of the Eagles. The Philly's never going to win again. I hope I'm wrong, but
I know I'm right. That's the thing. Like, I know for a fact that I'm right. That's why I just broke it off with the Falcons, because that's an unserious ass franchise, all in all. And we'll get into that this episode.
That's not weird.
The Hawks are unserious ass franchise because they just when they have something, they fuck it up anyway. You know what I'm saying? Case in point, last year's playoffs to this year. I'll let y'all do the math on that. The Braves, nigga, once Freddie Freeman's gone, and it's not looking good in the case of Freddie Freeman staying in Atlanta. Once that happens, we're going to fall apart. And I know it.
We'll see.
Nonetheless, it's Sunday. You know what that means. Live via satellite, it is Gorilla Gang Podcast. I am your host, Carlos Crawford. I had goldfish and fruit gushers for brunch, so I should let you know how things are going on my end. Alongside with me is my co-host and good buddy, Kenny Whitaker. What it is, Kenny?
I had Ritz peanut butter crackers and coffee for brunch. So that should let you know how things are going on this side.
A very low budget episode that we're doing here.
Very malnourished, even.
That's the word I was looking for. We're doing here.
Very malnourished today.
Oh man. This week, Ridge Holland ruins WrestleMania.
This camera's gonna get me angry, y'all. So forgive me if I'm in and out.
And Brittany Griner is in a Russian jail, and how we should go about things as far as that goes. But first, damn it, man, this gets annoying as hell. All right, here we go.
The button.
Yeah, there it is. Pin count brought to you by Schleart. Schleart. Number one. Listen, man, Calvin Ridley has a gambling problem. I know you want to split hairs and claim he doesn't have a gambling problem. That motherfucker has a gambling problem.
The problem is he lost $12 million because of gambling. That don't mean he has a gambling problem.
He gambled $1,500 and lost $12 million, Kenny. The gamble within the gamble.
But that's not. No, you're not gonna rile me up today. You already done that, and my camera's not helping me either.
I'm not gonna rile you up today, but just okay.
I'm the one that did that exactly. I'm the one that does the riling here, not you. I've established that from day one. That's my job.
I think it's time for a changing of the guard, if you ask me. But
Nah, I've been doing my job very well.
all right. So, a question I want to ask about this, right? Might the problem have anything to do with the mental health issues that sideline him?
Maybe. It's very possible. I mean,
It's very much possible because you don't get caught one time, like doing it one time. You know what I'm saying? You eventually get caught.
right. I mean,
So, like, a part of me feels like, and I'm not jumping to conclusions or anything. This is just, my deduction, me deducing here, right? Perhaps he took this mental health. He took the time to, work on his mental health because he knew he had a gambling problem.
but who's not to say that took place while he was on his mental health break? Maybe him going to the casino was a way of clearing his head. I don't know.
It comes
Do we
back.
have dates of the investigation? Did they give us more details about it? I'll be seeing.
Not yet. How be deducing? Because again, you don't get in trouble doing it one time. It's over a multitude of times.
And the thing that trips me out about this is the NFL makes so much money off of these DraftKings and these MyBookies and all this stuff. It's legal. It's legal gambling. Now I can see if he did it with like a bookie. You know what I'm saying? It was underground type thing. And the mafia coming with bats, trying to break your kneecaps and all that.
With this, and I'll just say this: there's a certain moral integrity in an actual professional player betting on the games that they're playing.
But what if he wasn't playing in the game?
That's another thing, right? You're still betting on the team that you play for. That it's again a lack of integrity, and I may or may not know a thing or two about integrity, but that one right there kind of makes me go, well, yeah, that makes a bit of sense. Like, why are you betting? First of all, why are you betting on sports when you have multitudes of ways to gamble? Like, you can go to the casino, you can play the roulette, you can play blackjack, you can do craps. Hell, you can hit the slot machines. You want to bet on games.
Maybe because he has the most.
If you weren't taking a mental health break, you would be playing it.
Correct. So maybe it's like if he had a vast knowledge of football, that's the best chance he can make some money. It's football.
Now
that's like if me and you were going to the casino and we were on a break from our team for whatever reason, and we wanted to make some money, just have good fun. What's the best way to make some money? Football.
I'm betting on my team. Now, where it would get away with it for me is if he were betting on, if not entirely other sports, but other teams' games. You know what I'm saying? Because you're not betting on the organization that pays you. That makes more sense. But this motherfucker was literally betting on the organization that pays him. He's still receiving payroll from this organization, even though he's taking a mental health break. You feel me? So there's a certain form of greed that plays into this. All right? And if you don't want to call it greed, it's addiction. So one way or another, it's just not a good look.
One time an addiction does not form. Okay? It's only if you keep doing it over and over again. And we have evidence investigations of one time.
And that's the thing, right? Once you get that one time, there's that naivety that he only did it one time.
I mean, I don't know. I don't have the full details. I'm saying there's a lot of variables to consider before we get into just calling somebody an addict.
Yeah and no.
Unlike
Because
with Jordan, we know Jordan had a gambling problem because he gambled everywhere he go. He gambled in the hallway. He gambled in the golf course. He gambled at his house. He gambled in the parking lot. He gambled
gamble
in practice.
all his life. So, you know, that motherfucker gambled.
The conversation was going so well until you brought that up. Why?
Because why
Why
not?
must you? Why must you shake the Why must you shake the turnstiles, Carlos?
Because why not? But nah, there was one joke where like it was motherfuckers playing dice at the All-Star break or whatever, or they were playing cards, and all of a sudden this motherfucker Michael Jordan made the trip from Daytona Beach, Florida to goddamn Cleveland, Ohio in half a day. He saw a picture of that. He saw a picture of that on Twitter. Was like, yeah, I need to get on the jet right now. That's what's happening for real. So
imagine being able to take a trip like that in a half a day.
Nonetheless, man, all in all, when it all boils down to it, man, this is the most Falconian thing that happened. Hey. Eugene Robinson getting popped for solicited prostitutes the night before the Super Bowl. Mike Vick dog fighting scandal. Like, if this isn't the most Atlanta Falcons shit to happen, I don't know what is. I don't.
Vic paid his dues to society.
That's cool and all, but it happened, and it cost us a possible Super Bowl playoff berth and possible eventual Super Bowl. They were going to run the option, Kenny.
And also, I don't think Vic, he wasn't even there. He wasn't running that. That was Marcus.
Kenny, did you see Michael Vick in Virginia Tech?
No, I'm talking about the dogfighting ring.
These motherfuckers to a national championship game. They lost. Who might I add is the Atlanta Falcons of college football.
I'm not talking about him playing.
In terms of trouble.
I'm not talking about him playing. I'm talking about the house, him with that ring. His name just on the property.
Yeah, sure. I look, man, when it comes to that dogfighting scandal, anything you tell me, I agree. Because like if we're being honest, dogfighting wasn't an issue in America until Michael Vick got caught with it. So, and you know how that
right.
Meanwhile, I said, no, dogfighting was a thing in the South that white people essentially started.
Meanwhile, it's some rich MLB players somewhere engaging in cockfighting, and no one's talking about that.
Cockfighting just sounds so like sick to me. Though.
Chicken fighting.
Roosters and chickens and shit. That shit sounds. A dick slapping contest.
I have no one to blame but myself. I walked into this. All right, what's next, man? Come on.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and go to the next one. With that being said, where was I? Right, Deshaun Watson. He has been. I forget the word for it. I don't want to say the charges are cleared, but they're not going to indict him on the case that he had been investigated for.
I think Schefter said he was cleared.
You said what?
I think Schefter said he was cleared.
I don't know if he's 100% cleared because you still got to look out for the silver trials, right? Like a lot of these victims, they'll drop the charges for the major trial, but then bring it into a civil suit. That way, they have a better chance in possibly winning the case and justice actually being served. Not to their liking, but to their satisfaction, I guess you could say. The thing is that I don't like how people just automatically assume that he didn't do it. because the charge would drop. That's not how justice works, you dumbasses. Like, just because a person is acquitted doesn't always mean that they're completely innocent. They could have gotten acquitted due to lack of evidence. They could have gotten acquitted for one reason or another. But just because they got acquitted doesn't 100% mean that they're completely innocent unless the evidence showed that they were completely innocent. I have yet to see any evidence that showed that he's completely innocent of these charges. So I don't believe that he didn't do it. I also can't really say much about him actually doing it, other than the fact that 20 plus motherfucking victims from different, parts of the country, and they all had relatively the same fucking story. And you want to say that's not true because women are gold diggers? Like, why are you playing devil's advocate? Devil doesn't need an advocate.
All right. I was just looking over the tweets. They were saying he's not facing any criminal charges.
He's not.
I guess they reviewed the evidence. I guess the evidence showed that he was innocent. From my quick searching, I wasn't going to sit and read the article. We don't have that kind of time right now.
Sure.
So, but
now,
I'll say this. I believe that if he is, and evidence has shown that all of this is guilty, if the evidence shows that he's innocent, clearly, I think this could put women back a bit. Only because with the progression that we made with, Cosby, those type of situations and Weinstein, all these things.
Yeah.
Women being heard more, and we're taking them seriously. So if all these women made these accounts and they turn out to be false, I just find that disheartening because, I don't want the precedent set of not believing women, but when you have one story where it's like obviously true and it's coming up, and then another one they make it seem like it falsifies against a black man, it's kind of hard to pick. You know what I'm saying? And without not at the risk of sounding insensitive, it's like, what do you want us to do? We are in a conundrum now because it's like we want to believe you, but history shows not only have you told the truth, but you've also lied too. You know what I'm saying? So
I have a sensitivity towards a conundrum like that, right? Whereas my thing is, do I constantly believe that a black person is innocent of their charges? Sure. But I don't believe that every black person is innocent of their charges. So the case still needs to be ran. Now, as far as women goes, do I believe that, they be telling the truth? Yeah, more than likely. Do I also believe that some women be lying? Sure. But my thing is, how often is the woman lying as compared to the woman telling the truth? And that's just an imbalance in that scale. Like, more women are 9 times out of 10 telling the truth, and then you have that 1 out of 10 that's just trying to siphon you for money. So that being said, you have, again, 22 to 25 women telling the same goddamn story, and you're going to sit here and tell me that all 25 of them are lying? I'm going to have to kindly ask you to get the fuck out of here, please.
See, and my conundrum is the opposite. I would be like, if I hear all those women making the same stories, I'd just be like, yeah, I want to believe you. You know what I'm saying? But I also don't have no proof. So I'm going to sit in the middle and let the evidence and everything play out because I think that's the safest place to be.
This is one of those situations where you have to go, you know what? Let's just sit and see what happens, because it legitimately is like, you don't want to believe that the black person did it. But on the other side of the fence, you don't want to downplay women. And again, my thing is, I don't believe that every black person is innocent. I believe that most of them are, But I also believe that there's that, little 5% of cases where it's like, that nigga did it. You know what I'm saying? Whereas I believe that 95% of the women that have that make these accusations are telling the God honest truth. Whereas there's like that 5% where it's like, nah, she just want money and clout. But again, this is too undisputed of a case to be saying, nah, they all want clout. How can all 20 to 25 women collude on the same story and none of them know each other? like just at some point when it comes to justice, you just gotta fucking use common sense, bro. You can't. The justice system is not based on common sense. The justice system is based on a bunch of rules and bullshit laws most of the time. So use common sense and you get the exact fucking what may or may not have happened. But that's the problem. Common sense ain't that common. But if you were, brought up to believe whatever you're being told, you're gonna think, the law is the most undisputed way to determine, good and bad. And it's not. That's why the bitch that is was depicted, I guess you could say, as justice, the holding the scale, the like scales or whatever. She's
Lady
blind.
Mm-hmm.
So she gonna get it wrong a lot of the time. And would you believe a blind person to say that they saw what they saw? No, you can't. So there's always gonna be three sides. There's gonna be one side, there's gonna be the other side, there's gonna be the truth. And the best way to find the truth is put together what's consistent in those two sides of the story being told in the first place. And apparently, this country does not do a very good job at doing that. Bottom line. That's why we're constantly coerced to believe that the black person is innocent, because the black person is usually innocent and they still get found guilty.
All this conversation made me want to do is go listen to Injustice for All by Metallica.
I mean, yeah.
Do what you will with that.
So, shit, man. Like I said, on one side, cool, Deshaun Watson got acquitted of these charges because this is the most wanted free agent in the NFL right now. But off the field, it's like he's got to pay for something. Like I don't think this is all over. That's that on that said and done. Because again, you still got to have civil trials and cases, and that ass can get got on that.
Listen, all this being hot, he got through this. Now teams won him. Still don't want to come to Philadelphia. So
another thing before we go to the next part of the last part of Pentagon 1, I need everyone to stop comparing apples to oranges when it comes to the NFL's rules and standards. And this goes for Calvin Ridley's gambling problem too, right? Because motherfuckers were like making comparisons as to why Calvin Ridley shouldn't be suspended for a full fucking season when it's just a full fucking season, not the rest of his life. He's not banned for life on anything like that. They're comparing, the domestic abuse and things like that. And it's like, yo, things like though making comparisons, trying to compare which is serious and which isn't, that could be triggering to victims of domestic violence. And y'all should probably stop doing that shit. You're probably not going to. You probably need your ass whooped for doing it. But maybe you should stop. Perhaps.
I think that's touchy. And I think it's touchy because, like, the NFL only gave Ray Rice, like, what, 4 games
So
Nine
in terms,
games, something.
we should be looking at hell as like, how come you're only suspending? Well, I already know the answer to this. Money.
They only like.
Calvin Ridley was fucking with the money, and that ain't good business. And when it comes to domestic abuse, it don't cost that much money to make go away. And that is the fucking problem.
I'm about to say, you just pointed out the problem that I think most people that make that argument are trying to, shed light on. I don't think it's the fact that Calvin really got suspended for a year. I think it's the fact that they went light on Ray Rice until the video came out.
Yeah.
Then when the video came out, it's like, oh, you got to go for this much long, which turned out being the rest of his career.
And it should have been the rest of his career from the jump. Again, like
if you can suspend Josh Gordon indefinitely for smoking weed, do that for domestic violence. That ain't no game.
And if anything, now that y'all made smoking weed lenient, it kind of feels like a slap in the face to cost Josh Gordon 2 to 3 years of his career. But
it's also some things for Josh Gordon with that too, because you get suspended for it. Just wait till the offseason. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, if you got a piss test coming up, and they're looking at you, just chill out on it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know you like, you know what I'm saying, doing your thing, but let the the legal things you got to go through pass before you enjoy the grass. You know what I'm saying?
Crazy about it.
At that point, it's just me hard.
Like, your man is higher than today's gas prices, cooking motherfuckers on fucking shallows and post routes. Just absolutely torching them. Best thing that Cleveland had going for a while until they found out, he's high while doing it. He's got to go. And that's crazy. That's the one thing, like, it wasn't money involved. They was trying to be like completely integral about the shit, and they were completely wrong about it because, stop comparing.
I'm no different than Ricky Williams. Ricky Williams was running for like 1,200 yards.
Like, domestic abuse should get kicked out of the league. Bottom line, like, because your ass as a man should not be beating the shit out of your lady.
Anything domestically or proven sexually, disruptive, should have stricter penalties, in my opinion, than game. Now, suspension for a year, I may have thought it was a little too much, maybe half the year, but again, that ain't my call to make.
Nonetheless, moving on from, Deshaun Watson and Calvin Ridley and everything that's bad off the field. On the field, quarterback carousel's been going on. And your man's pots and pans, Carson Wentz, is now a Washington Commander.
He's not my boy. Nah, I still got the Carson Wentz jersey in my
Exactly. You bought a Carson Wentz jersey. What does that say about yourself?
No, I got that as a gift. I did not purchase it with my money.
You accepted said gift. What does that say about yourself?
It was 2017, and he was about to win MVP. You're darn right I accepted the gift.
Nonetheless, this is Carson Wentz's second team he's been traded to in the last 2 years.
He trash.
So again, I ask you, what does that say about yourself?
You don't say nothing about me. When I got it, he was good. He was good when I had it. It was gravy, baby. I thought he was a QB for the next 10 years. Then he tore his ACL and came back and was trash. And then I'm like, it's looking bad.
Exactly. So a lot of people, well, not a lot of people. I've been listening to sports analysts and things like that, and they've been trying to like figure out what the problem is with Carson Wentz. It's like it's a bit redundant to say that he's too Christian. or too religious for his locker room. You know what I'm saying? But
nah.
I
We're not gonna do
just
that.
find it hard to believe.
We're not gonna do that because Brian Dawkins was a born again Christian Hall of Famer, respected by everyone. It's different between being a leader and just being a prick. Okay, entitled prick. Okay, sorry for that word. That's probably the harshest words you heard me use in a while on here. You know, I'm really trying. You know what I'm saying? It's progressive, but
I gotta use for you and shit. He's being an absolute dick. He's probably a real dick about being a Christian.
And those are the type of Christians I hate, but that's for another conversation. What we are talking about is football. So,
motherfuckers were willing to, pay for the payout that was required to just get rid of this motherfucker. And Washington was dumb enough to look at that and be like, yeah, we'll take him.
Here's my non-biased football analysis on Carson Wentz right now.
Well, before you say that, I want to say that there was little to nothing wrong with Taylor Heinicke. He was that's a quarterback you can use to not certainly win games, but he won't fuck up as often as Carson Wentz will. Continue.
Now I gotta comment on that because Taylor Heinicke is not good.
He's not bad. He's not good.
He's not bad either. You know what I'm saying?
Very mediocre. Very fitting for the Commanders.
Mediocre, yeah. Okay, here's my non-biased opinion of Carson Wentz. We said this before with Indianapolis. If the best chance he had was with Frank Reich, that didn't work. Even though they were in playoff contention, they ended up losing to the Jaguars to miss on the playoffs.
Frank Reich said he stuck his neck out for Carson Wentz. Bro.
Yeah, I was gonna get there.
He let them gone.
I was gonna get there. He said he had to apologize to Jim Irsay. Which one, kudos to Frank Reich. Because Frank Reich is Christian and he's doing it the right way. From the outside looking in. That man put his money, his neck on the line for Carson. Yeah, giving us a pick, which would become a first round pick. Thanks, Colts. And now we got 3 of them. And now,
all right, we need to make this right.
Right. And he said, look, Jim, I'm sorry. I thought I could help him. He ain't working here. We're going to have to start over. And Jim Irsay, being the man he is, just like, okay, we'll find him. Don't worry. He's gone.
With Irsay, it's like you admitted to me that you were fucking wrong. And all right, cool. Let's go ahead and get past that by getting him out of here.
Mm-hmm.
So we can figure out the next move. You know what I'm saying?
Now,
argue with you over who's wrong. You admitted to it. Let's move on then.
Right. Now, this is where it gets spicy for my take. If Carson was to have an absolute final chance of success, unfortunately, it's here. Because now, while the Colts had a great running game, receiver room, mediocre. T.Y. Hilton, not who he used to be. Michael Pittman, solid, not a real number one. Hold on. They got Terry McLaurin there in Washington. Bonafide number one, burn the field. Carson like to throw the ball down the field. Well, there you go. They got a not so great O-line. The Colts O-line was better, which is a problem. Because if you can't do it behind there, you're gonna have some issues here because Washington ain't the best. But as slim as it is, and I'm talking about slim, if the Commanders can get by fasting and praying some great line, he could have a shot. As tiny as I don't have something really small around me. As tiny as a crumb in this packet of crackers. That's the Chinese guy. But other than that, Washington, I'm going to enjoy catching pick sixes from Carson Wentz.
Yeah,
Because when he throws it to Darius Slay, I'm going to be excited.
I'm not willing to make that bet on Carson Wentz being good in Washington. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not even. I'm not saying he will be. I'm saying he has a very minuscule chance.
You don't understand.
You keep the money.
That's
You keep the money. And they paying that man $24 million.
You keep the money.
Listen, I just think it's crazy how in the span of 6 years, how things have twisted. It's like, bro, a report came out that when he was with us back in 2017, I don't know if you've seen this.
Yeah.
But in 2017, who's that? I forgot who said it, but Darren Sproles had to confront Mighty Mouse. Good old Darren Sproles had to confront Carson Wentz because he was quote unquote displeased, or in your words, being a BITC because they were winning. Yes, because they were winning while he was hurt, in which you're supposed to be the captain of the ship. You're supposed to be the team leader, and you upset that they winning without you?
Yep.
Why? Here's my question. Why? You know the franchise invested in you. They traded up to get you. You know you're not going nowhere. Why are you upset?
Wait, who was upset? Carson or Sproles?
Carson was upset that they were winning without him, and Sproles checked him.
There it is. All right. Yeah, no.
Yeah, Sproles checked him.
Bro, you are stinking up the place. Shut the fuck up talking to me. Like, we should probably get rid of you, for being honest.
It's not even he was stinking up the place. He had 33-7. He led us to like 11-1, 12-1. We don't get here without you throwing the ball. We don't get here without you doing that. Leading the team. You get hurt. It's unfortunate. We keep winning.
So y'all were winning games with him and without him, and he was bitching because y'all were winning games without him?
Yes. He was tripping because we was winning without him. On a Super Bowl run.
He felt like he was the all in all leader. He wasn't the motherfucker that was making y'all win. That's what that was.
You can't. You're not playing. You heard.
And he a mediocre ass 29-year-old quarterback. Shut the fuck up talking to me.
At that time, he was like 24, whatever. It don't matter.
Around that point. But you get the point. The nigga's 29 right now. And this is his third team in the last 3 years.
Yep.
You're low-key journeyman. You're becoming Jeff fucking George.
Or Jeff Garcia.
Jeff George, Carson Wentz?
Or Jeff Garcia.
I don't remember Jeff Garcia being in fucking San Francisco. I don't remember him going anywhere else.
He was in San Francisco. He was in Oakland. He was in Philadelphia. He was, I think he was in like Miami. He's been around. And obviously, I know that because the 1 year Jeff Garcia played for us, he's actually good. Then he got traded. And I'm like, oh.
Was it really that good? So
he almost had us in the playoffs.
And then not only that, fucking along with the quarterbacking carousel,
I'm intrigued now.
Motherfucking Mitch Trubisky is a Giant now, and now he and Daniel Jones are going to be battling out who's the starting quarterback, and it's like, or him, Daniel Jones, and Jake Fromm, and again, it's like all three of these niggas suck. Like y'all gotta stop. Y'all gotta stop. Capping like any of these quarterbacks are good because they're fucking great white hopes. I'll tell you who a great white hope: Josh Allen. You know what I'm saying? Justin Herbert. Those are motherfuckers that can actually ball. Joe Burrow.
Man said, that's like, terrible. Danny Jones had so much promise, then he did that.
We're past that.
That's hilarious. And just to clarify, because if eating at me, Jeff Garcia played for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 teams. San Francisco,
His entire.
Cleveland. Yep. San Francisco,
Oh wait.
Cleveland. Detroit, Philadelphia, Tampa Bay, Oakland. If you want to count this, he played for the Omaha Nighthawks.
No, that's not an NFL team.
Okay, and then Houston. So yes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 teams. And then he came back to us in like 09, which was, I don't remember that because
And yeah, he wanted to trash talk motherfucking Mina Kimes because Mina Kimes be knowing what she fucking talking about. Okay.
Yeah, and I'm looking at his numbers. His numbers aren't bad. He ain't great either.
That motherfucking Jeff Garcia was mediocre as fuck. That's why fucking Terrell Owens didn't fuck with him like that.
He had
You
161.
go from Steve Young to goddamn Jeff Garcia. Yeah, there's a reason to be upset.
He had 161 touchdowns to 83 interceptions, 25,537 passing yards with an 87.5 passer rate.
Not bad. But again, Steve Young and Jeff Garcia will piss you off. Well, not you, because you fucking hate Steve Young. So it's like, you, in your eyes, and your fucking green color lens, yeah, it's no difference for you. But seeing it as anybody else, going from Steve Young to Jeff Garcia may piss you off.
I think I've made a breakthrough today. I think the root of my displeasure, I don't even want to say hatred anymore. Because after watching, you know what I'm saying, the Montana thing, it will say open my eyes a little bit differently to why I might not like Steve Young. I think my displeasure is the way that they ushered Montana out.
Yeah.
More so than Steve Young being who he was there.
Starting his legend. Yeah.
Yeah, because Steve Young wouldn't be Steve Young if he were under Montana. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah, he can run, but he learned his work ethic and how to read from Joe.
Yep.
So I'm like, in my opinion, I'm like, bro, Montana better than you, and they're not even close. So everybody hyping you up, you know what I'm saying? Cool, but you ain't the real 49ers quarterback. Yeah.
Thing is, Joe Montana was undisputedly the better quarterback than Steve Young, easily. But Steve Young had certain qualities that Joe Montana didn't have.
Like
age, toughness, for the most part. Because that motherfucker Steve Young will play until you gave his ass a concussion.
And Joe Montana wasn't that?
Joe Montana wasn't going to take the time to catch a concussion. That's the difference. Joe Montana, yeah, he was going to run around out of the pocket, but he knew when to get rid of the fucking ball. Steve Young, not so much.
Yeah, but Montana took a lot of hits, bro.
Yeah. Steve Young
and was scrawny.
Was responsible for the amount of hits that he took. Solely.
Well, that just sounds like he's slow. But anyway.
That motherfucker was not very, I wouldn't say very smart, but he was fearless.
He wasn't very protective of his body.
Bingo. Joe Montana, much more protective of his body. Therefore, able to whoop ass for longer. So that was a stark difference between them two. Like Steve Young was just rough and tumble, where Joe Montana was precision.
Yeah. Anywho, neither one of them quarterbacks are Carson Wentz. The Carson Wentz is neither one of those quarterbacks.
Quarterbacks. Colin Kaepernick was working out, and it's like, At this point, bro, you might as well try out for the USFL because they're not bringing you back. They don't like you because you showed them up. The NFL. Let's call it what it is. You embarrass the NFL. They're not going to bring you back for shit. And it don't matter what what you embarrass them about, but you expose the fact that they were in the wrong, and they had to make attempts at making that shit right. And for that, you can't come back, and that sucks because Colin Kaepernick is better than Daniel Jones, Jake Fromm, and goddamn Mitch Trubisky. That's for true. Like, the thing about Colin Kaepernick is motherfuckers are going to stand behind the fact that he got replaced by Blaine Gabbert. And yes, that is fucking terrible. However, Colin Kaepernick led these motherfuckers to a Super Bowl after taking over for Alex Smith. And y'all love y'all some Alex Smith, don't you? Don't you? So I need everybody to open their mouths and gargle this cum when it comes to Colin Kaepernick.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, I seen that. I seen him working out in that video, and my immediate thought was like, bro, give it up.
It's over.
And I calling you.
But he can still be a quarterback in, another league. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't mind watching him play quarterback for the USFL that's coming up, or fucking the XFL, or hell, even Canadian football, because I'll watch a Rough Riders game every once in a while. So it's like
whenever the XFL is coming back,
in which Uncle Rocky's working on that.
Hey, play for the Washington Defenders. We have Commanders and Defenders, and I can laugh at them both equally.
Fair enough. That's fair. Nonetheless, number 2. So Brittany Griner is in a Russian jail, right? And I'm gonna just keep this short and sweet. She's been arrested. She was arrested for apparently having marijuana paraphernalia in her bag, hash oil, if you will. That's the story. That's how the allegation goes, I guess. So here's the thing, all right? Russia doesn't get down like America gets down. However, it kind of gets down like the rest of the world gets down, in a sense of Russia ain't accepting to the things that we nowadays accept, like marijuana usage, LGBTQIA. There's just anything that can, be a plus to your mental health. They're not down with that. Why do you think they drink so much goddamn vodka? They got to get through life. It sucks out there in Russia because they hate everything. So, with that being said, Brittany Griner got caught up using with hash oil, and she is a Black lesbian woman, which is already enough negatives to go with it. But if we get to the root of things, like, because you got to understand what her main reason was in being in Russia in the first place. WNBA players don't get paid much. So they go overseas to play in Russia because, Russia and other East European countries, they actually take basketball of both genders seriously. If not, women is a little more prominent than the men. That's why you get a 30 for 30 podcast story about how Diana Taurasi and Sue Bird wound up in a team in Russia, and shit just got wild for them over there. They're lucky if you think about it. Like, I'm gonna send you that podcast as well. But yeah, Taurasi and Bird, they're essentially, lucky how they got out of their situation from what I listened to on that podcast. And part of me feels like it wasn't Sue Bird in particular. It was probably somebody else, but I have a strong feeling that it was Sue Bird. I know for sure it was Diana Taurasi, though, as one of them. But WNBA players don't get paid much. And it's up to us to start generating the revenue for it. We need to start watching more games. And it's not that hard. It's just that dudes are misogynistic as fuck. And they act like they're not. And then it immediately starts to expose themselves when it comes to watching WNBA games. Why don't you want to watch women ball? A lot of these women are fine as hell, first and foremost. That should be what should get you there in the first place. But then, not only that, these women ball.
Yeah,
and they ball uncontrollably.
See, I think what you said just now is lying the issue. I think people don't take it seriously because men look at women like, you know what I'm saying, objects. You know what I'm saying? If they tune in, they just tuning in to look, you know what I'm saying, at their bodies, you know what I'm saying? And they're not really taking the game seriously. And I think it's just like this superiority complex we have as men sometimes, you know what I'm saying? We just think we better than the females.
However, why do you think women watch football and basketball? Or are really into it, aside from the fact they actually thoroughly enjoy the sport?
And they like what they're looking at too. Yeah, I'm not saying that's a problem. I'm not saying that's a problem. I'm saying the problem comes because a lot of men only tune in for that reason.
Okay, but that can be what brings you there. You know what I'm saying? I don't have a problem with, men and women getting into WNBA because the women that play are fine. And I mean, it's just attraction. However, when you tune into these games and you see that these women are actually good, that's what you stay for. At that point, attraction kind of wears off. You just like, hey, nah, I actually respect them as players.
Yeah, but there's so few of us that actually do that. It's a lot of men that be like, okay, I seen them, they all cute and tired looking at and change the channel.
Because these men that enjoy basketball, they're either misogynistic or just downright annoying as hell because they want to be contrary. Like that's not my problem, bro. That's not my problem. My problem is why we don't watch WNBA basketball a little more. Like, if you really love basketball, you're not just watching men's basketball. That's all I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? Because I'll tell you what, I'm still looking for Legends Football League episodes. And I wish they would televise women's football.
You should have brought in Knez for this.
Yeah, probably.
Knez watch basketball more than anybody I know, including myself.
Yeah. and a part of me feels like that every once in a while when there is one going on, Knez will watch a WNBA game. Like here and there.
Yeah, we came to the house one time to record live and he was watching WNBA game.
Exactly. So like Knez just loves basketball. And he'll watch anything that's basketball involved. Let's say that the NBA was in the off season, you might find Knez watching either like classic games, or he might be watching a European basketball game. I don't know. Like, he seemed like the type. That motherfucker just loves the game, And if you really love the game like that, it shouldn't matter who's playing. You're just gonna watch that shit because you love watching it. But
if I see him watching a Euro League game, I'm gonna be like, yeah, you really like basketball, my friend.
Son, that motherfucker loves basketball. He loves basketball. I love football.
I wouldn't even know where to get access to a European game.
Neither do I. However, number 3. All right, man. So AEW Revolution was this past Sunday. We had our predictions about it. We were kind of right about a lot of them.
Yeah.
quite a bit right about a lot of them. Do you have the card down?
I am getting it now.
The results?
Yeah, I should have got that instead of looking at Jeff Garcia.
I mean, it was a reason why we were looking at Jeff Garcia. I'm gonna pause it for now.
Okay, so I got him. And
okay.
We got the I'm gonna skip the pre-show. Okay.
I completely missed the pre-show, and I'm sick about that. Okay.
Yeah, House of Black was on it. Apparently, they had the match with. Anyway, so Eddie Kingston beat Chris Jericho.
Yeah, that was a good match.
It was. CBS rated it an A-.
They rated it an A-. I would have gave it a B+ because there were some parts where it made me go but then like they really brought it the fuck home. You know what I'm saying? Because once Chris Jericho kicked out of that backhand, that back fist that Eddie Kingston got, he started to get real frustrated, and it made me go, it's not looking good for you, my guy. So, but he pulled it off. And then like Chris Jericho wouldn't shake his hand afterwards.
Yeah, I knew that was coming. I was like, heel Jericho is fine, baby. You know he ain't shaking hand. AEW Tag Team Championship, Jurassic Express champs versus Redragon versus Young Bucks. Jurassic Express retained, and they rated that a B.
I gave that match a B-.
See, I can't give it a proper grade because I missed that one.
A lot of spots. I'm starting to realize why people don't like the Young Bucks.
Yes, they do a lot of spots.
I'm figuring it out, but on the other side of that coin, it's like, dog, how in the fuck do you remember all those spots to do? Right. That in itself is amazing to me, that you have that memory span to do all those spots. But goddamn it, that's a lot of spots.
Yeah, it is. To go back really quickly, I think you predicted Eddie Kingston winning that match, correct? I think we both picked Kingston to win.
Yeah.
Yeah, I said I wanted Jericho to win to be funny, but I thought Kingston to win. Okay, you predicted Jurassic Express retainer. I picked the Young Bucks, so you picked over that one. You got that right over me. Next one, TV, Orange Cassidy versus Powerhouse Hobbs, Ricky Starks, and Royal Christian Cage Revolution ladder match.
I said that was anyone's game. I wanted Ricky Skaggs to win.
Yeah.
Starks.
I think we both came to the conclusion that Warlord made the best sense. So I guess that counts as us picking him.
You said no sense. So you predicted that correctly.
Okay. All right. And they gave that match a B-. From what I saw, it was a I was on the C+ range. There's a lot of misses and a lot of places they could have did better.
There was a lot of mess, a lot of disorganization, but they had certain parts of that match where it was like, all right, this match is pretty fucking dope. Like Orange Cassidy getting hemmed up with the ladder and then him flipping up the ladder to try to catch the ring. I was like, this motherfucker Orange Cassidy is going to lose this match, but he is doing his job. He understood the assignment.
Right.
But Powerhouse Hobbs and Wardlow and Keith Lee, them like constantly teasing the horse fight. It's like, bro, y'all gonna run that fade or what? What are we doing here? Stop standing around staring at each other.
Correct.
Ricky Starks getting powerbombed into that horizontal ladder. Oh my God. I legitimately was worried for Ricky Starks.
Yeah, that was a tough ball to take. When he took out the champ, man, he's all right.
And he tweeted, "Hey, I'm good." All right, man.
Good. Glad you're okay. Next match. AEW TBS Championship. Jade Cargill versus Ty Conti. You picked Ty Conti, I think.
Yeah, I did.
And I told you you're tripping. Jade is on a run and it's gonna continue. And then she came dressed as Jade.
I was completely wrong. Yeah, well, I guess Ty Conti is gonna fuck around and be like the Liv Morgan of AEW and shit.
I feel like she's gonna have a run at the women's title.
If they give Ty Conti a run at the like women's championship, it's like, all right, y'all are doing a little too much.
I mean, not right now. Not right now.
just a little too much because I thought that she'd be, singles women's championship material, but not world women's championship material. So I was like, show me what I'm missing.
Yeah, and they graded that match a B-.
D-?
Yeah.
D or B?
B.
Oh, I'll say, damn, man, D-. It's like y'all ain't fucking around with that kiss of death. Shit, even Ty Conti fucked with the kiss of death.
Yeah,
like, he said on Instagram, I know this isn't the time or the place to say it, but this is kind of hot. I was like, they got to start doing that shit, dog. I don't know what Jay's orientation is, but, she started giving the kiss of death like a mob boss. I mean, I don't care anymore.
All I seen Jordan Grace tweet that she would want that kiss, and I think everybody lost their collective minds.
Oh, because Jordan Grace is a bit on the racist side, yeah?
I think so.
That's what I've heard.
I think it's either her or Tessa Blanchard.
Tessa Blanchard, definitely a racist.
Yeah. But yeah, they gave the match a B-.
Allegedly a racist.
Allegedly. Yeah. But yeah, they gave it B-. I partially agree. I think overall the match was good. And I think it was a lot of, like we said on the show last week, Jade had some botches in her matches.
Sure.
But overall, story was great and they both worked well. So it's like, okay, botches aside, solid match, give you in the B area. I would have just gave him a B straight up. I wouldn't have given it a B.
Yeah.
All right, this match. CM Punk versus MJF dog collar match. This match lived up to everything we expected. I think we both picked Punk to win. Yes. I was just wanting MJF because, I enjoy heels. So, it's a dangerous world I live in, but somebody got to live here, and I enjoy wrestling. So.
It makes you look stupid. That's what I'll say about that. It's very unbecoming of you. Stop doing that.
What, making me look stupid? Because I like heels?
Because look at you now. Now you about the Paul Heyman and shit. Only starting with the champions.
I didn't pick MJF to win.
Hey.
Never picked him to win. I said I like MJF as a heel. He know his like job and he does it well.
Win that goddamn match either. However, from the beginning of that match, before the match even started, that shit was going to be a classic, dog. Because MJF tried to troll the crowd by coming out the cult of personality, stopped it, and then played his jump and pretty much laughed at the crowd. But then CM Punk was like, "Oh, you thought I was coming out the cult of personality?" Oh my God, that Ring of Honor entrance gave me fucking chills.
That was like, oh.
I forgot how hard that entrance was.
Yeah, but this was just an example of two men who know the business and do their jobs well. That's what me liking heels is about. It's a testament to people who do their jobs well. And I think heels don't get enough credit for doing their job well. You have to hate someone in this.
On the other side of that fence, CM Punk ended up catching shit later after the pay-per-view because some guy was was trying to figure out what the hype was for CM Punk's entrance that night in particular, because he watched Ring of Honor, and it's like, A, understandably so if you've never watched Ring of Honor, but B, get with the fucking program because it's not the usual entrance, and if you have been paying attention to the story, that there's got to be of some significance. My thing, I vaguely remember that entrance from Ring of Honor because I wasn't staying up till 2:00 in the morning nightly. I'd wake up to take a piss and see what was on, and Ring of Honor would happen to be on, and I tune in a little bit before I go back to bed, and and many of those episodes, I see CM Punk. But
correct.
Like again, on the other side of that fence, you didn't watch Ring of Honor, fine. That's I get it. You know what I'm saying? However, if it bears some significance, just keep up with the program. You know what I'm saying? At least act like. But that motherfucker was not ready to act like he didn't act like he didn't know, and CM Punk pretty much ripped his ass for it. But then Twitter ripped his ass for doing that.
Yeah, you can't. I love Punk, but you can't do that. Everybody don't know you from Ring of Honor, bro. Like,
look, man,
it's some diehards in here that know you. I'm with you. I barely know him. I didn't have access to watch much Ring of Honor. Hey,
look,
we discussed the monopoly of wrestling that Vince had in North America.
Here's my thing. Here's my take on it. Since May 12th, 1991, I've had to grow up with a CM Punk, essentially. So CM Punk is Caleb. Like I'm used to snarky ass remarks like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm used to like somebody being more, for lack of better words, a dick. So it's like I saw that and I just kind of giggled, like I just kind of laughed. You know what I'm saying? Because that's just CM Punk's get down on the whole, basically, in general. And people aren't willing to accept the fact that there are going to be people like that. But you can't deny how good he is at what he does.
No, you can't. And
Michael Jordan, greatest NBA player of all time. But an asshole.
Yeah.
Like, you can't have it both ways. So it's like, I looked at that and my was like, I try to tell you about CM Punk. It's like, who gives a fuck if you did or not? Like, if you knew what his get down was, you knew what his get down was. So for me, it just made me go, CM Punk being CM Punk, like right or wrong, is CM Punk being CM Punk. And I was like, what can he possibly be miserable about still? And it ain't about misery. It's just how he rolls. That's just who he is as a person. There isn't any misery at that point. Your man could be the happiest person in the world and still be a dick.
Yeah, that's happiness doesn't change personality. You are what you
bingo.
You know what I'm saying? It is what it is.
I mean, exclusive all the time.
Correct. Anyway, past that, because I don't even know about it. And when you started, I was like, okay, that's just CM Punk being CM Punk.
Bottom line, I will say this about the match. They beat the shit out of each other.
That was a classic match.
Yes.
If you were a wrestling fan and you were a purist and you knew the significance of the story, like you said, you kept with the story, this match was everything you wanted and then some. Like, it was good. Like, story was well told, played off each other well. And JF did good heel work. CM Punk did it great. I would have liked them to be on the stick a little more during the match, but that wasn't necessarily needed. That's just a personal preference in that. I just wanted to see y'all just beating each other down to bloody pulp, and then when you get somebody up and just keep talking trash on the mic, a la Rock Mankind might quit, you know what I'm saying? Or, you know what I'm saying, anything like those lines. But they graded it A-. I'm with them.
That's an A+ match for me.
Yeah, so beautiful.
Yeah, not only were they wrestling, they were whooping each other's ass. And it's hard to get a mix of that when you're connected to each other by a dog collar with a chain. It should be more ass whooping than wrestling, but they actually got their wrestling shit in.
Yeah, beautiful. AW Women's Championship match. Britt Baker, DMD versus Thunder Rosa. My good brother, picked Thunder Rosa. I once again told you, no, you're tripping. Britt Baker's run is continuing. And then
no, absolutely wrong. But let me ask you this. So what do you do now?
We figure it out as we go. And while we going, we go 1, 2, this one.
Where this title reign ends and how are we going to get to it? Otherwise, you're just going to get a bunch of lousy ass matches that makes Britt Baker look like this run is going for too long. Like, if you want it to be a great run, it needs to end great. You can't just have the shit dragging along for a long period of time. At a certain point, people are going to get tired of it. And the reason why people are getting tired of it is because you constantly have Rebel, shout out to Menagerie, and Jamie Hayter constantly helping Britt Baker win. And it's like, Dr. Baker don't necessarily need Rebel and Hayter to win. But y'all watering down that championship run by constantly having Rebel and Hayter help her win all the time. At a certain point, you got to get to a point where it's like, all right, either you're going to try to do this shit by yourself and you win a few matches and then eventually lose by yourself, or you find somebody that's going to beat the shit out of Rebel and Hayter and then in turn beat you as well. And we're slowly running out of women to do that. So what next? Go on and say it, Kenny, because I know where you're going with this.
Where am I going with this, Carlos?
Jade Cargill to unify the championship.
Yeah. I don't see the problem with that, though.
I bet you don't.
I mean, you can unify the title and they still have another women's title.
All right, I'll tell you what. I'll compromise with you on this idea, right? Don't unify the titles. Just make Jade Cargill a double champion.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's what I meant by unifying. Having both.
Nah, I thought you meant unifying by consolidating both.
No. She got both. She's carrying both.
Right.
Then JD 2 belts.
I guess I could fuck with it.
Call her double jaded when she holding up the belts.
All right. I wouldn't, but you know.
Or something. You can think of something better. That's just, you know what I'm saying? Whatever.
Continuing on.
Yeah. So we got John. Yeah, they graded that C-, which was where I was at too. Jon Moxley versus Bryan Danielson. This is a fight.
A+.
They are just whooping each other down.
They beat absolute fuck out of each other with wrestling moves. The thing is, Moxley is a brawler, while Bryan is a pure wrestler. It's just completely violent as fuck. And that's why the match worked so well, because it was just two different forms of violence clashing.
Correct. And I think the thing that made this match over the top was Sir William Regal.
Lord William Regal shows up and sets these motherfuckers straight because they're still fighting after the bell and shit. And he slaps the shit out of Mox, in which Bryan Danielson starts laughing at him. Regal turned around, slaps the shit out of Bryan too. Like he essentially became their on-screen parent and shit.
Yeah, pretty much they managed it, because you know.
But that makes sense. Bryan Danielson and Jon Moxley is a tag team led by Lord William Regal. Holy shit. 2022 has been wild.
Yeah. And I have no opposition to that. Thank you very much.
None whatsoever. However,
I don't know who you picked to win this. I picked Moxley. I never picked Moxley. Did you pick Danielson?
I picked Mox.
Okay, so we both got that right. All right, cool. Gave it a B+. You gave it an A.
Overall, we were only one off.
So far.
Ourselves?
Yeah.
Wait, so far? I thought that was the last match of the night.
No. It's two more left.
God damn, that was a long card.
It was a long pay-per-view. Yeah. Andrade Harmony Family Office against Darby, Sammy, and Sting.
Sting is 62 fucking years old, hopping off scaffolds into 3 tables and shit.
Yeah, that's that.
WWE dropped the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Bottom line, WWE dropped the ball. Hey, you know what? That's because WWE hated WCW that fucking much. So when people complain about AEW getting these barbs off about WWE, I don't mind it at all. Because when WCW came into WWE, Vince did his absolute damnedest to just completely flatten that company as a whole.
Yeah, he did everything he can. He did everything he can to bury them stars.
To the point where it's motherfucking 2014, 2015, Sting comes along, and Sting got to lose to Triple H.
Instead of
fucking odd or like different, or
and this is my thing. Even if you wanted him to lose, Sting a pro, he gonna do it.
Sure,
but let him lose to someone we want to see him lose to.
The
Undertaker.
First of all, Sting been that dude since Triple H was terrorizing. Why is he beating Sting?
Correct.
Like that pissed me off so much, man. That's how you knew that was a Triple H ass.
Sting's gonna fight me, and we're gonna have the NWO come out. I'm like, Sting wasn't even that main of a player in the NWO.
If anything, he was the motherfucker that was thwarting the NWO.
Right. This is just a match to get your friends over.
Exactly. In which, on one side of the fence, I kind of didn't mind because I love me some Hall and Nash. I love DX.
Yeah.
But that wasn't the time to do so.
Yeah, you could have let Sting beat Taker and then do that for another time. Like, you don't have to throw him into the wolves.
Buckle bomb Sting into early retirement.
And even if you wanted to include him, you could have let the NWO come out, like, you know what I'm saying, on some WCW branding, try to come up against Taker. Then DX come out on some WWF shit, and you know what I'm saying, protect Undertaker. It could have worked either way.
Like, regardless,
it still could have worked. Because that was when the thought about the 90s. They would have been like, oh, look at all these people coming out, which is essentially what you did.
They didn't give us the match we really wanted because Triple H needed to be in the center of it all. That's what it all boils down to, bro. Like,
right.
nothing less. Because
and why are we talking about Triple H's Sting? Because we were on this match. And Sting was in it.
Like, WWE be trying to revisionist history, everyone to thinking that Triple H was the motherfucker that was the high point of the attitude era. And it's like, nigga, no. Because if you recall those years, y'all were just giving this motherfucker championships.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not saying that Triple H was like a non-factor. No, by all means, no. But he wasn't the biggest factor of the entire company. You take away Triple H, that company still is afloat. You take away Stone Cold, WWE no longer exists.
That man Triple H was just the benefactor of being the last one of the clique still in the WWF. Because Shawn left for reasons, Hall and Nash left. That's fine.
However,
final match. Yeah, they get it. Oh yeah, they get it a B.
I give that match an A-.
Okay, I'm along with a B. It had some moments where I lost interest, but it was still good.
I like a good match. I like a good tornado match because it doesn't have to be in the ring.
Yeah.
So, and they took advantage of that. They whooped each other's asses throughout the entire arena, and I enjoyed every bit of it. Motherfucker, Sammy Guevara did a fucking Spanish fly off the top of the stage, nigga. Like, what?
Yeah. Guevara is that great. All right, and the final match of the night. Main event, AEW World Championship, Hangman Adam Page versus Adam Cole, baby.
Baby, the Battle of the Atoms, in which Hangman Page takes the W.
Yep, that was the one that I missed because I picked Cole.
A flat.
Yeah, they gave this an A-. I gave it an A. Well, you know what I'm saying? I think this match, even with Cole losing, you know what I'm saying, just like proved my point about how I was saying about Cole last week. Like, yeah, Hangman's great. He's amazing. You know what I'm saying? But even with Cole losing, whereas AEW people would normally go to the back of the line, nah, we want to see Cole again.
I wouldn't mind seeing that match again, but it's like at a certain point it's going to get tiresome. So it's like I want to see it one more time.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And they got plenty of time to the next pay-per-view.
and they could give that shit back. They could keep have Hangman keep that shit, and then move on. But like if Adam Cole claiming that he doesn't stop until he gets a championship, nah, stop that shit. Stop that shit right now, because if he's just legitimately busting your ass, you need to just hold that. That's at a certain point.
At this point, I think for me, I think it's gonna build up to a triple threat at like Double or Nothing.
More than like,
or whatever the next pay-per-view is. Huh? Omega.
Oh yeah, I forget. When is he coming back?
I don't know, but when he does, it's gonna be Elite versus Undisputed or whatever they call themselves. In which
I think they're just calling them Red Dragon, like Fish and O'Reilly. They're just Dragon and Adam Cole.
Yeah. Until who's the last one we missing? Roderick. Till Roderick Strong comes. They call him something else.
Where he in Diamond Mine? He's literally the leader of, or the like main motherfucking wrestler for Diamond Mine. He's not going anywhere. They're going to make Roddy Strong an actual mainstay, so to speak. He's not exempt from release, but they're going to make him a mainstay.
Well, yeah. Well, we'll see. I mean, things can change within like a week or two in this landscape. We know that for sure. But if he stays there and they make him and they use him, that's great. I'm glad they're doing something. But hey, I wouldn't mind seeing that match build up to triple threat. I enjoyed the match. I hope that Cole pulled it off, because I'm just one of those few that just think Hangman is good enough to capture it, but carrying the brand is not his thing. But I'm not opposed to him being the champ. But I can enjoy the title run, but I feel like it'd be somebody else better suited to be champ. And I think Cole has probably got there just too soon to put the belt on him, which I understand too. But
right. Like, if there's anything they haven't done yet, was have a motherfucker immediately become world champion. Like, you gotta actually, work your way towards becoming world champion. So
unless your name John Moxley.
Fair point. However, that was Pin Count. Brought to you by Schleard. Instead of final thoughts this week, because I did have some, but I don't have any anymore. So fuck it. What about you, Kenny? You got any? No?
Nah, not really.
All right, cool. So let's close out with this, right? Ridge Holland broke Big E's neck with a belly-to-belly suplex outside of the ring. And I watched it all happen live. And it was nasty. I'm talking
very nasty stuff.
And you watched it live too?
Yeah, very nasty stuff.
Oh my God, that was bad business. Like, Holland had the, setup for the belly-to-belly, and as soon as he tossed him, I said, I hope this motherfucker Biggie can tuck and roll. Because
he's not
And so, literally, Biggie flipped like,
bang.
And like his neck, like you can see his head laying like directly at the crown. Yeah. And like his entire body was still going, and it eventually, jerked back into dropping on the ground. Your man's was not moving, and they moved on to the finish of the match. I said, oh my God, is he moving his extremities?
Right.
That's the first thing I tweeted. And then somebody was like, yeah, no, I'm at the show right now. They're pulling a stretcher out for your man. I said, oh shit. However, Biggie did send a message to his fans or whatever. C1 3 fracture.
Yeah, no surgery, which is
no surgery needed, no nerve damage.
Nope, nothing wrong with the spinal cord. That is beautiful news.
Yeah. So it's nothing life-threatening.
Yeah, hallelujah.
Career-threatening.
Hallelujah.
But he gonna be out? Shit.
He ain't gonna be in Mania.
Yeah,
You can cancel Christmas.
Definitely missing Mania. That's for goddamn sure.
Yeah. And I want to say this really quickly. I'm going to get this off my chest because this boils a lot, okay? So to all you nincompoops and you buttholes that constantly tweet at me and text me on side, not even tweet because I ain't that popular on Twitter yet, but text me on side by my love for wrestling, tell me wrestling's fake. I want you to look at that video
and tell me that's fake.
I want you to examine that. Very, 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 very. I don't even know what I'm trying to say right now because I'm very, very completely examine that.
Thoroughly.
Thank you. Thoroughly examine that.
I had to figure out the look for too. Shit.
It's not often you give me a word. That thank you. Thoroughly examine that. Let me flip you like that, and you don't know. They know how to fall. Yeah, he know how to fall, but he ain't flipping right. And now he broke his freaking neck.
Yep. And let me tell you something about Ridge Holland real quick. Not only did he break Big E's neck on a belly-to-belly, he broke Gargano's shit on a power slam. You know what I'm saying? Like, people need to understand about, yes, this is a business where accidents happen. They're also unsafe workers with a history of injuring people. Both can be correct. You know what I'm saying?
Like Bill Goldberg.
Fuck that. If y'all want to give Nia Jax all types of hell, I demand that same energy for Ridge Holland. Motherfuckers really, I saw motherfuckers on Twitter like, don't get mad at Ridge Holland. It's accidents happen. No.
Don't do no move you ain't confident doing. Don't do no move that you ain't sure of yourself doing.
Exactly. But
especially again, on the outside.
But again, y'all were completely shitting on Nia Jax, and it makes me wonder what's the difference.
Ain't no difference. They both trash workers.
Bingo.
A trash worker is a trash worker. If you endangering people, you don't need to be doing this, bruh. Like this is like y'all like to talk about it's not people's lives are at stake every night when they go in that ring, bro.
Yep.
One day you can come in that joint and be great and feeling yourself. Next minute you got all kind of neck problems. Stone Cold and Owen Hart. You said who?
Draws.
Yeah, him. He's one. I brought up Stone Cold Owen Hart. That changed the whole trajectory of his career. He had a lifespan on that. Edge off that ladder match.
Honestly, that sit out tombstone power driver Owen Hart gave Stone Cold, that literally shortened his career by a solid 8 to 10 years.
Correct.
Because Stone Cold retired, that happened what, 96?
Yeah.
97, 98, 99, 2000, 1, 2, 3. Stone Cold has 7 years left after that. And you want to tell me that he couldn't have kept going? Fuck that.
He could have gone well. He could have gone just as long as Hunter did.
Stone Cold had a technical style, technical working style up until that point, which he had to change up to that brawler mentality that he has to this day.
Yeah, he was going by ringmaster. He was doing really well. I think Bulldog had an injury similar like that too. Tyson Kidd. People really like lose years or lose their life to this. You can be paralyzed, bro. Like this ain't no joke. So it's like, the outcomes are determined already.
Yeah,
that don't negate the work they got to do to put the show on.
Exactly, and for you to be like, the matches are predetermined. They already know who's gonna win and lose the match. It's like, yeah. But they still got to put on that show to entertain, not only entertain, but it puts themselves at risk when they are entertaining. So, yeah, certain degrees of it, like the politics of it, kind of it isn't, real because it's not shoot fighting. They're not legitimately running that fade. However, the show that they're putting on is much like a soap opera. It's a very violent soap opera. Wrestling.
As JR likes to say all the time,
Show some
this ain't
respect.
as JR likes to say all the time, this ain't ballet.
It ain't. It ain't fucking basketball either. So like, yeah, y'all gotta start showing that. Y'all gotta start showing wrestling some respect. Like, is it a bunch of like B talented actors? Yes, but those B actors, they're like athletically gifted.
You do
And
that beat.
that most
Listen.
B actors aren't.
Listen, you do that B acting well enough, you become an A actor if you put the time in. See Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
like what are we doing here?
Correct. And as much as I had to say it, Cena's trying to get there too. Cena
already there, low key.
Yeah, I didn't want to admit that.
Cena's slowly becoming the motherfucking Kevin Hart of wrestling actors. That motherfucking work.
Yeah, I ain't going to admit that, but he getting there. But anyway, I had to get that rant off my chest, man, because when I see bad works like that, and I see people try to poo-poo on who do this, and the athletes and the people that risk their lives for these type of things, it makes me upset. I'm like, bro, half of y'all wouldn't even be able to know how to survive in that ring, thinking it's fake. Oh yeah, we just go ahead, play around there, and you think it's a game, and you land the wrong way your whole life over. You can't walk for the rest of your life. Yeah. That's why I love it. But I said, if I was gonna get in the business, I ain't taking no bombs. All right, I'm a stick man. I know my lane. I respect the heck out of everybody that step in that ring because I ain't built for that.
I have a very, very low pain tolerance. I'm damn near hypochondriac at this point in my life. So no way I'm getting into a wrestling ring. People are constantly telling me, you love wrestling so much, why would you become a wrestler? Because you punch me out. Unless drilling's in me, then, I gotta, possibly go to jail. So it's like I
said, if we get in it,
wrestling, well, I'm not going to say that, but I'm not going to take a wrestling butt. That's my point.
If we getting in it, we this.
Yeah, exactly. We are on commentary. Hell, we'll be manager. I may take the wrestling bump here and there.
Right. It's gonna be an easy one. I just fall flat.
Exactly.
And even falling flat, you gotta know how to do that. You fall flat wrong, you break your thing going back.
Exactly. So either way, you gotta that's how you gotta do it. So yeah, no way I'm taking a fucking wrestling bump.
Yeah, I'm not taking no mankind bump off no Hell in a Cell. You lost your mind.
Yeah, fuck no. Who me? No, never. But bring it all home, Kenny.
With that being said, my name is Kenneth Whitaker, aka Hendrix Solo, the original owner of the Millennium Podcast. Yeah, man. I'm flying this whole thing into a whole nother decade or two or three or four.
23 skidoo, 24. 5.
AKA Last Black Jedi. Fear is the path to the dark side. You know what I'm saying? Or like I said earlier in the pre-show, if you watch it, don't become the thing you swore to destroy. You know what I'm saying? Don't let the dark side corrupt your heart, my guy. It can happen. AKA Nacho Man, I'm a savage. Oh yeah. See, the one thing you always gotta remember about this business, Mean Gene, is that any moment accidents can happen. Yeah. And you know what really irks my nerves, Mean Gene, is those people that just sit on the sideline and just want to pitter-patter, talk about the business, Mean Gene, but they never seen or know anything that go into the business, Mean Gene, yet. How would you feel if they had to take a mean elbow drop off the top, Mean Gene? Would you like a mean elbow drop to go into the wrong place, possibly in your neck, giving you a vocal contusion, breaking your voice box, or even worse, breaking your jawline and your nose because I misplaced the time. But one thing I won't misplace, Mean Gene, is a thought's place in the Nacho Man's life. Yeah, you see, the Nacho Man knows where a thought can't stay in there. You know, that means, those thoughts will try to creep their way into your pockets. That's why I always ascend to the top when I see a thought and give an absolutely mean and clean, known botch-worthy elbow drop. Oh, yeah.
And ladies and gentlemen, that was Nacho Man, I'm a Savage, live from a seminar. Back to you, Gorilla.
Who says they know wrestling but never watched it yet? AKA the very sexual, the very tired,
Very thought, yes.
Austin Powers Faja.
Wait, it's Faja.
That is Faja.
Oh. Factor.
Ladies and gentlemen, exhibit A. When a problem comes along, you must admit to be cool. Oh man. And just because I feel like it and I think it's funny, aka Mr. Kennedy Black Man.
Oh boy, I'll get the buzzer ready.
Yeah. Every time I step into WrestleMania season, I always enjoy looking at the sights and the sounds. Which black man with the biggest pets am I gonna put on a pedestal this year? Is there a white man with equally? Is there equally a white man with the biggest pets that I can put on the same plateau, or is there a Samoan man with big pectoral muscles that I can make them just highlight and shake around? I don't know, but it's some kind of weird obsession of WrestleMania season with big men, big meaty men slamming meat that just gets me excited about WrestleMania season. And if you're a wrestling fan like I am, and if you enjoy all these things, you get excited about this time of year because you get to see big meaty men slamming meat.
Jesus. I'll get the buzzer just because. However, to bring it on home, I am Carlos Crawford, a.k.a. getting watched by developmental trainees in video games. It's Chin Music Charlie. I've seen previews of 2K22. That's all.
Hey.
A.k.a. Oh, Stone Cold.
What?
I'm a little pissed off.
What?
I take that back. I'm really pissed off.
What?
Last night,
What?
I had Chris Jericho
What?
right where I wanted him.
What?
I told the world
What?
I would put his sorry ass
What?
right here.
What?
Drop him.
What?
Wham!
What?
Stone Cold Stunner.
What?
1, 2, 3.
What?
Stone Cold.
What?
Stone Cold.
What?
That's me.
What?
Will be the world champion.
What? What?
I told the damn world what I was going to do.
What?
When I had that some bitch in the middle of the ring,
What?
down comes 3 pieces of trash to this ring.
What?
I swear that's my favorite Stone Cold promo, dog. Your man was tight. AKA Snack Miller. The nicest. You seen it in a while. Believe it, the people, the reason I'm out. They're showing me love and hoping me up. That's why I see them and greet them with smiles. Shorty be letting me into her house, picking them up and digging it down. They passing me weed, relaxing with me. They heard that the kid was the chillest around. Somewhere in Pittsburgh, kicking it back, watching the Steelers. Put your Reggie Bush away. We got some real herb. Shorty, your weed hoe. But nah, I don't feel her. Because I'm just on to the next. Don't get your feelings hurt. AKA Warren Moonshine. You don't tell me when I've done enough. I tell me when I've done enough. AKA the idiot.
The drunk pickup. I can't. You think you've been drinking? That's hilarious.
AKA the idiom savant. I hate how people want to bury their head and sad about these things, to be honest. Like, in general.
Ooh,
Right.
Good idiom.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm doing the SpongeBob clap. Ooh, good one.
Right? Yeah. Good one, right? However, to bring it on home. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no, 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 no. All right, here we go. There it is. Yes. Not that one. Gotta pause that one. All right, there we go. There it is. To bring it on home. AKA Haystack West. Finally. Some peace around here. Oh, you thought? One just came across my desk this morning. Well, that's just gonna have to wait. How bad can it possibly be? A sadistic serial murderer has been going around mutilating folk and townspeople who are terrified. Fine, but one of these days we're gonna get some damn rest. Justice never rests, little brother. And yeah, you do quite well in doing so. And ladies and gentlemen, that was episode 173. Like us on Facebook. Subscribe to us on YouTube. And above all else, Kenny?
Watch the freaking product.
That's right.
Or as Carlos would say.
We off this.
We out.